Hi everyone, thanks for watching Access Hockey MI. As promised, we are coming to you with so much free agency.
Buckle up, kids.
And re-signing news. There's so much happening right now, and if you're a Red Wings fan, it has been a week. And I'm sure for all the clubs around, I mean, we've been seeing news hit after news hit of all these important guys on teams being traded
out for like a week because I couldn't handle the stress.
It was a lot for a couple. Like the free signing day, I mean, that was just whew. So
you know the glass case of emotion? That's what it felt like.
Basically, there's going to be so much more to come, of course. Mm-hmm. But we're going to talk about not an exhaustive list of guys, but so far the guys that we see as big losses to the team, and some guys as we see that we've gained and re-signed that stuck out to us as well. Mm-hmm. So first we're going to go over the losses. And prefacing it with, we still trust Yzerman. We're still on board for this development, and we're glad that these guys get a chance somewhere, if not with the Red Wings. So why don't you start us off with our losses?
Oh, our losses.
The first one isn't.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Kind of older news. We had the expansion draft a few weeks ago. We lost Dennis Cholowski.
She comes out with it.
Come out swinging. If you've kept up with us at all, you know that we probably don't. You probably already knew that this wasn't a huge loss to us.
I like that loss. It's fine.
It is a step in the right direction.
But needless to say, we lost a defenseman.
We did. There is now an open and available job opportunity for
there you go.
Some young gun vying for it.
And you know what? All the best to Dennis Cholowski in Seattle.
Maybe a fresh start will help kind of spark him up a little bit.
Fantastic.
He was kind of fizzling with us, so maybe this will be a great opportunity for him. So
rest.
Go him. Nicely placed. So Cholowski's off to Seattle. We also lost Luke Glendening, Darren Helm, and Alex Biega.
And this is when this starts coming in.
Yeah, Glendening has been one. He's been one of my favorites for several years since his time with Grand Rapids up until now. His whole career has been here in Michigan. He's a Grand Rapids boy.
As a Red Wings fan, you probably know this.
I mean, he grew up 10 minutes away from where we're at, so it's...
Not only that, but he played with Grand Rapids when he first started, came from U of M, University of Michigan.
Walk on
from U of M. He played with Grand Rapids. He's played with the Red Wings for his entire career. He's looking for, he's taking that chance as a new start. He took a deal with Dallas, actually, so he's going to go to play with the assistant coach of Dallas.
He won't have to shuffle his driveway
who used to be the coach of the Griffins. Not when, of course, he played with the Griffins, but... Todd Nelson is the assistant coach of the Dallas Stars, and we are big fans of Todd Nelson.
Yes.
I think he's
good people.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
So he's going to Dallas to play with them, which is a loss for the Red Wings for sure.
Yeah, that hurt my heart. I did not like that one, but I like it for Luke, and that's a decision that they left it open-ended for him.
And he's going to do great.
Yeah, he's going to do fantastic, but it does open up a little bit of opportunity here, and it's part of the painful growing process.
Yes. And through all this, we still trust Steve.
And we're going to keep repeating that.
We trust
especially when we get to the prospects.
Well, and that was... And this is we're kind of segueing a lot, but all these are decisions that these guys made as well. Some of them didn't even receive qualifying offers to stay with the Red Wings, but Glendening did, and he chose to go elsewhere. Yeah. And you know what? That's his decision, and that's great. Again, he's going to do great.
It was a harder choice for him than it is for us.
He's going to be great.
Yeah.
He is great.
He'll be fantastic.
Anyways.
Another one, Darren Helm. Longtime Red Wing, and I think for him, I was not necessarily attached to Helm.
No,
but he's
done so much for us.
He has, and he's one of those back end role players where he doesn't necessarily show up on the score sheet every night, but he does a lot of little things, and he's ridiculously fast. Yeah. So it's going to be really hard to see him. He signed with Colorado,
another good team.
Yeah.
He's going to do great.
He'll do just fine in Colorado. Mile High Club.
Yeah.
But he'll do well. And so those, two of the biggest names that we lost at the Detroit level.
Yeah.
We wish him all the best, of course.
And currently, just a quick note, Evgeny Svechnikov is pending as of the time this video is filmed. So no offer has been made by the Red Wings. They did say that they'd be willing to keep him, but there's no official offer on the table. So we'll see what happens to him in the next couple of weeks, I imagine, and before the season starts. But
if any of you know anything we don't, let me know.
Yeah, right? We would like to see him re-signed. Yeah. I think that he has great chances. That all depends, though, on, of course, where Steve sees the team going, where Svech ends up wanting to play, So if he gets another offer, that's going to be completely up to him.
There's a good chance he feels like he's got a better start somewhere else.
And the hardest for us, believe it or not, because as reporters for... mostly the Griffins organization, we watched the prospects from the start to the finish, and we lost in this last
I don't even want to hear
free
you say
signing.
it.
We did lose Dylan McElrath, Joe Hicketts, and Dominic Turgeon, which,
Ouch.
if you know our channel at all,
Ouch.
we are big fans of these guys.
Yes. And the worst part of it
Huge.
is Hicketts and Turgeon went to the Wild.
The Iowa Wild, which is a team we see so frequently in the regular season.
It's like a breakup when you see them all over the place, but you still have to deal with it. You love them still.
And you know what? None of them received qualifying offers from the Red Wings, so that was a calculated move by Detroit to not extend offers to them, which to me, I feel like all three of these guys still had a great shot.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm not so sure that it would have been with Detroit. So if they're going to go somewhere that's going to give them an NHL experience and an NHL chance, that's going to do that. They're going to do that.
It's their best opportunity, and they've been with us for so many years. And Joey Hicketts, he was one of the first prospects that we saw at the prospect tournament. We saw Dylan Larkin when he was first there too. But seeing Hicketts and Turgeon from that point, 5-6 seasons later. And they have so much skill, and we've seen them grow in so many different ways that it's hard not to be upset about it. Yeah. But at the same time, you make the moves and you do what you can for the betterment of the team.
I'm just going to say right now, the Iowa Wild's penalty kill and
power
play
continue to go up. It
has improved drastically by these two acquisitions. So, and then Dylan McElrath, he's going to Washington. So I'm thinking it's going to be with the Hershey Bears, which is their AHL affiliate, but I don't know if it's a two-way. Regardless, we're losing a defender, not in just his position sense, but in the sense of someone who had a heart for the team and a heart for not letting anyone mess with the team. And we've always said that too. So these three...
And a heart for the city.
These hit home.
Yeah, it was a hard one. We've
had a few days to kind of
It took us a good 24 hours to actually process
We had to take our advice of, trusting the process and the fact that these guys are going to get a chance still. And I'm just glad they're still in the system and that they still get a chance to play.
It's okay to be sensitive about it, guys.
It's fine.
These guys mean a lot.
We feel too. So why don't we go into who we gained and re-signed after all this sad news? Painful. And all through this, we're just remembering that it's a long road, and these are just all going to help us. So why don't we talk about our gained and re-signed, the ones that stick out to us the most, at least.
So the biggest re-signings, I think, both at the, I don't know, do we want to do Detroit level or Grand Rapids level? Because there's been a ton of movements. Okay.
I don't care.
All right. Alex Nedeljkovic. That was the one I think we both were very excited about. So he has been a fantastic goaltender. He was with the Carolina Hurricanes in their system. And I believe he was on the Calder Cup team. Is that correct? And with Patrick Brown, who I think might still be a free agent.
Maybe.
Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. But he
was with the Charlotte Checkers. Did you say Carolina Hurricanes?
He was
because he came from Carolina Hurricanes, but when he won the Calder Cup, he was with the Checkers.
Right.
Who are now not, I don't think, the affiliate of the... Which is weird to me.
There's been some movement there.
Just, a lot of pieces. Anyways.
They're going to be affiliated somewhere in Florida, probably.
Right.
But Alex Nedeljkovic is probably one of the most promising goaltenders I've seen in a couple seasons with another team. In the Detroit system, we've got a lot of guys coming up, but Ned, it looks like they're probably planning on having him as a two-way or in Detroit backing up Grice, since we've lost Bernier. So
for Nedeljkovic.
Yeah, right? So and that's a cool tandem. They're very different
I would like to see that. I will like to see if he can bring what Bernier brought, because Bernier was doing well for Detroit. So this was another calculated move, so I look forward to seeing what he does bring to the table. Two other guys, I'm going to kind of couple these because these are super similar in both being prospects and being signed to Detroit. So that would be Gustav Lindstrom and Michael Rasmussen.
Yes.
So these two guys were signed to contracts with Detroit. I don't know if that can change to like a two-way throughout the year. I'm not sure how that would work for these two. But that's huge, both being prospects. So this tells me that they did the work, they are getting it done, and that Detroit trusts them enough to, again, sign them. So Rasmussen was signed for 3 seasons, and I believe that Lindstrom was 2.
Lindy was 2, yep.
So I think that those are going to be, I'm going to be very excited to see them grow in their development and in their status on the team, and I think it just speaks to both the defensive rebuild, so Lindstrom's defenseman, and then the fact that Rasmussen's being trusted. He's a center.
He is a center,
and that would be great to see him be one of those centers relied upon.
Well, and like
forward.
You said, he put in the work. I know Rasmussen was kind of almost like a bubble guy, being a first-round pick that we had, to getting switched from being a winger to a center, how can he adapt, going over injury and all that kind of stuff, to now proving to the organization that yes, you're worth 3 more years.
Yeah.
So that's a long contract.
And
so
as
far.
you can tell through all this, nothing's been thrown away.
Right.
No signings have been thrown away.
Right.
Everything's very intentional. So them signing 3 years and Lindy to 2, It's a big deal.
Right. So another cool signing, I'm going to actually couple these together too. Different positions, but I'm excited about both of them. Taro Hirose. He is a player that you've heard us talk about numerous times, and if you haven't, go back. It says Taro Hirose in the title, not Taco. We call him Taco sometimes because we feel part of the team when we do that.
Yeah, right.
But Hirose is, I think, one of the unsung heroes of the development of where Detroit's at right now in Grand Rapids. He is a powerhouse. He's very skilled, very fast. His special team ability is amazing. And he's been just silently getting better, and better. He's not one of these headlining guys, but when he's on the ice, you can't help but notice him.
And he wasn't even drafted.
Right.
We got him from Michigan State.
Yep.
So
hard work,
I think that's amazing when we see guys who didn't even go through the draft process making such a big splash like Hirose, because he made a splash and he even was on the red. He's played games in the NHL too, and I think that he could get there. I do think he needs to get a little bigger, but I think he could get there for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And then another fun one, Pius Suter. That was one that everyone was really geeked about. I like the reasons that they think that we signed him. Those are always humorous to me to read over. It's like, yeah, you for sure know what Yzerman was thinking.
Yeah, right.
But he's a really cool one because we had a small opportunity to watch him develop a little bit. But from what I understand, what I've seen of his footage too, he's a dynamic player, very opportunistic. And a lot of people are saying he's me on that line with Bert and Fabry and all that.
Well, I think he did fantastic as a rookie last season. And I was surprised that he wasn't re-signed to for his former team.
Right.
So to see that we got him, I think, was a bonus on our side for sure.
And so he's going to be a really cool one to watch. I believe it's a two-way, too, so it could be Grand Rapids or Detroit.
And
the one originally I was going to go with was Mark Stahl, but I'll get to him.
Yeah,
I was excited about him.
So I'm going to go with a guy that we know as a Griffins fan, which would be Dan Renouf. He played with we were able to see him when we won the 2017 Calder Cup. In Grand Rapids, of course.
A team.
And that year we went through this huge, we lost so many guys from that team after
that one too.
We just go through a lot as fans, So
it's ripping off the really big band.
Dan Renouf is filling one of those gaps caused by losing two defensemen, Dylan McElrath and Joe Higgins. So he's a defenseman, and I'm excited to see him come back. I forget a little bit of his play just because it's been quite a while.
He's gritty.
Yeah, and he can get some points too, and I don't think that he shies away from, sticking up for the team or for himself, so that's good too. He's no Dylan McElrath, but
there's some familiarity there too, because we re-signed Kyle Criscolo too, and they were rookies, and when we won the Calder Cup, so there's a lot of familiarity, so they're building up that veteran
One
leadership.
more I want to talk about too is Chase Pearson.
Just one more thing, guys.
Chase Pearson has just been stellar for the Red Wings and Griffins organization. He was re-signed. They did agree to terms with him. So that was good because I was kind of on eggshells about that because I wanted to see him come back. I do think he has NHL potential. I hope that they see that in Detroit. Yeah. Because I do think it might be a two-way, but for sure he'll start with Grand Rapids.
And he kind of almost fills that the Dom Turgeon slot where they both have very similar styles of play, but also face-off ability. And that's one thing we lost with Glendening.
And penalty kill.
Yep.
So he was working a lot on special teams last season that I noticed. So those are two more guys.
We have and what I noticed about all of these re-signings and guys that we've traded for, it's a very young crop of players.
Yeah.
There's not many guys who are pushing that third. I mean, Mark Stahl is a little bit on the older side of things. But a lot of these guys are young. They're still able to be honed and developed and everything. Yeah. So I think it's a good indication of what
you can choose. I was thinking we should talk a little bit about Bertuzzi.
Okay.
So if you want to talk about Bertuzzi.
I will talk about Bertuzzi. I feel like we should have our bobblehead in the background. So Tyler Bertuzzi has been a big question mark for several weeks regarding his status. He struggled with back injury and all that, so he really only played, I think he played 9 games this last season. So not a whole lot. There's that arbitration debacle that we're not too big of fans of.
But then he was protected in the expansion, so clearly he was an asset to the team.
Right, and he was re-signed for 2 more seasons. So I want to say it's $9.25 million is what that kid's pulling in, so well done. Not bad for 9 games.
I want him, on the topic of Bertuzzi, I want him to have a breakout year. I want him to, when he left the Grand Rapids Griffins, he was supposed to be stellar. And I don't know that we've seen his full capacity of play yet. Yeah. So I would like to see him live up to his potential.
Yeah, and
with Bertuzzi.
He's got the ability to. He's got the grit to. And when we watched him, he has a lot of tenacity. He reminded me at least a lot of McCarty and how he played.
And skates.
And his shirt was always tucked into his pads. It's just,
how does it happen?
I don't know. But I do want to see him live up to that, and I want to see this. I would call it a risk that the team is taking in signing him for 2 more seasons, being that he's coming off of injury and a back injury nonetheless. Yeah. I would like to see it pay off for for the team long term and for Bert.
Yeah. So coming into September, so we just started August. I know, I'm sorry. So coming into September, of course, is the Prospects Tournament that has been officially, the dates have been set, and we're really excited to see. So that is when the original 6 teams, I think 2 years ago, they had like a random, not original 6 involved.
They just brought Toronto in 2 years ago.
Weird.
That's
okay.
Dallas, Iowa.
But weird. So it was supposed to be the original 6, and then it kind of expanded.
It's morphed.
Yeah, so we've got the Prospects Tournament coming up, and that's when we get to see all the names that have been in Europe.
There's like 500 prospects.
Yeah,
there.
We're really hoping that we can see some of these European guys that are able to come in for the tournament. Restrictions willing, I guess. So we're looking forward to that, and we just want to kind of plug that in here because we're going to be talking a lot about in the next few weeks about the draft picks that we got, and of course, looking forward to the Prospects Tournament. We're going to be talking about a lot about prospects. Right. That's what we do. It's what we like to do.
It's where a lot of the guys that we, especially the young Euro kids, that's where they end up first before training camp, because training camp is immediately afterwards in Traverse City. So you can get tickets too. This is an open event for the public. I think they're $10 a day.
I think
and you get like 7 hours of hockey.
It's a lot of hockey, and it's great. So
bring a sweater.
Yeah.
The rinks are cold.
The rinks are the coldest rinks we've ever been in. And that's saying something.
Our lips turn purple.
Well, we're also in there for the whole 7 hours, so
yeah,
that's probably why too.
We love it.
But that's kind of the gist of so far the things that have stuck out to us in this re-signing. Looking forward to the 21-22 season. We're excited to see kind of what the team looks like, who we put on the ice, what kind of prospects come in from Europe, the goaltending situation. I'm very excited to see how that plays out. So I guess let us know in the comments if any of these surprised you or if we missed one that you're like, hey, this guy should have been re-signed, wasn't.
I'll put an exhaustive list in the description.
We jumped around, and of course we didn't talk about them all. It's just we like to pick out the ones that surprise us or the ones that we always watch. So let us know again in the comments what you think Detroit's doing and how you think they're doing it. And we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.